guys, it's Manager Kylie, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you some important terminology to know for basketball. So today I'm going to go through some basketball terminology. These are terms that you want to know both when playing the sport and when watching the sport. There are a lot of terms that I'm going to go over in this video, so if you have any questions on any of them, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys are interested in more sports administration content just like this, definitely the subscribe button, turn the bell to get notified every time I upload, as I post a new video every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to dive into these terms. So I split these terms into a few different categories, and as we go through each category, you're going to learn how those terms relate to the game of basketball. I'm going to go through some different player positions. I'm going to go through some different violations, some court terminology, some different positional plays terminology, and then the gameplay terminology. And if you have any questions on any of them, again, definitely let me know. Starting off with the different player positions, you have your forwards. So there's a few different forwards. These are generally your taller players. They're the ones that play closer to the hoop. You have your small forwards. You also have your center. That's the person generally in the middle of the court on your defense. They're the ones getting a lot of those rebounds. You also have your guards, so they generally play around the perimeter. And then you also have sometimes shooting guards, your point guards. So your point guard is the one generally dribbling it up. Your shooting guards are your threes. They're the ones that are taking some of your shots. In basketball, there's actually a lot of violations that you can't do. So these violations can just cause a turnover to the other team, or they can cause some sort of foul or free throw. So some of the ones that just cause a turnover are traveling, so you can't just walk with the ball in the hand, you have to be dribbling it, or 3 seconds, so if you hang out in the paint for too long, that can be a 3-second violation. This is also double dribble, so if you pick up the ball and then try to dribble it again, that's a double dribble. There's also a 5-second violation, so this is when you're inbounding the ball, you have 5 seconds to throw the ball in. Other violations that would cause either some sort of foul or free throw. So it depends on where the violation occurs, whether or not it would just be one of your fouls or whether it caused free throws. It also depends on the amount of fouls that the team currently has, as that can get into bonus foul shots. So some of these can include a holding. So if you grab at the player that's dribbling the ball, setting an illegal screen can also cause one, because this can cause some players to get hurt. A charge can cause a foul, so that's when you stand on the block and hold your space and the person dribbling the ball going up for the shot runs into you. And then you have your personal fouls, which are pretty much any contact with other players. Flagrant fouls are a little bit more of the dangerous version of this, and that can actually turn into a technical foul, which gives the other team extra free throws and the ball. So now I'm going to go into some court terminology, and these are different words that you're going to hear when they're referring to the court. So the court itself is surrounded by a baseline and a sideline. So this creates the outside of the court. On one half of the court, so if you cut the court at the midline, you're going to see a 3-point arc. Within that 3-point arc, you have the key, and that is the area in the middle of the 3-point arc. Sometimes it is actually a different color. This is right by the basket. At the top of the key, you have your free throw line, and then you have that arc for your 3-point line. A lot of times when talking about outside that 3-point line, it'll be referred to as the perimeter, so you're taking a shot from the perimeter. The other half of the court, so if you're playing offense in one half, the other half of the court is considered the back court. That's the area you're dribbling up to. That's the area you're dribbling up from, and you're going towards the basket. The basket is made up of a backboard, a basket, and a net. And then when playing basketball, you have a few different clocks set up on the scoreboard. You have your clock that's keeping track of the different periods in the game. So basketball is either played in halves or quarters, depending on the level and gender. And then you also have your shot clock. So this is a clock that's either right above the backboard or on the court somewhere that you can see it. This gives you the amount of time that you have for the ball to hit the rim before it automatically becomes the other team's possession. Some of the different terminology for player setups is both for defense and for offense. A lot of these are for defense. You're going to hear mainly man-to-man defense. So that's when one player is guarding another player. You might also hear a zone defense. That's when you're guarding a specific area of the court. You're also going to hear a press. So what that is when you're playing a full court press, you're starting your defense right when they inbound the ball from the other end, versus a half court press, you're starting at the halfway line, or if you're just dropping back into your regular defense, a lot of times you'll start that around the 3-point line. And then your offensive plays, you'll have things like press break. So that's when you're trying to set up to get through that press, or different offensive plays that you might come up with different names to try to run plays so that the defense doesn't know where you're going with certain cuts and different things like that. The rest of these terms are going to be more your in-game terminology, but they may fit in a little bit into some of the other categories and relate to that, but I thought these fit best into your in-game terminology ones. So the game starts with a tip-off. So this is when two players jump up for a ball, and they start off and it tips the ball into one direction. Throughout gameplay, there may be stoppages in play, and this can happen through a timeout. So if the coach decides that they're not doing well running a play, they may call a timeout just to reset their team and give them some more feedback. When dribbling up the court, the other team may steal the ball, and that's considered a turnover, and that actually puts the ball into transitions in that area when you're moving back and forth from offense to defense. When shooting the ball, there's a few different shots you can take. You can take a free throw, which is a 1-point shot. You can take any sort of shot that becomes 2 points, or if you're outside that 3-point arc, it can become a 3-point shot. There's also a way to get a 3-point play if you take, like, say, a layup. You make that basket and you're fouled, so you get both that 2-point shot and you are able to get the chance at a free throw to make it a 3-point play. When your team's on offense, you may want to make some space on the court, so you may set a screen or a pick. This allows your team to get open, so you're trying to block that defensive player a little bit. If your team shoots the ball and you grab the ball from the net without it going in, that's a rebound. That is considered an offensive rebound. If the other team gets the ball, that is a defensive rebound. When you have possession of the ball to try to move around and change where you're angled to, you may use a pivot. This keeps one foot planted on the ground and one foot moving, just to allow you to move around a little bit without actually traveling, because if you pick up that other foot, it's considered a travel. You may hear a few different types of shots when watching basketball. A layup is when somebody dribbles up to the hoop and goes up generally on one leg and kind of lays the ball up into the hoop. A jump stop is when they stop and jump with the ball, and then you shoot the ball. That's a jump shot. You may also hear of a jump ball, and this is when both the offense and the defense are holding on to the ball. It's a stop in play and goes to the ball, either possession to whichever team didn't have it last time. So this possession goes back and forth. It's just a tie-up, meaning nobody has actual possession of the ball. Other ways you may get open are through a ball fake. So you might fake a shot, fake a pass. A pass is when you throw it from one person on your team to another person on your team. A key way to move up the court in basketball is through dribbling. So you're going to dribble the ball up the court. That could then turn into a shot or a pass. There are some trick shots like an alley-oop, which is when you throw the ball up and your other teammate jumps up to grab it and shoots it without actually landing. You might also dunk the ball. That generally happens more in your professional basketball or college basketball, a little bit less in some of your younger ages just because of the height of the net. You may also hear different terminology in relation to defense. Help sides, when you're on the opposite side of the court compared to the ball and you're helping in just in case there's some sort of cut or anything like that, versus being right on your person. You're one pass away, you're kind of right there and deny. So these are just some different terminologies for basketball. If you have any questions about the terms I said, or if you hear any terms that I didn't mention, definitely let me know in the comments down below. A lot of terms in basketballs, like say for the key or the paint, for an example, there's a lot of terms that all go over for the exact same area of the court. You may also hear it called the 3-second zone. There's lots of different terms. So if you have any questions about some term I may not have mentioned just because it has multiple names, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer that. If you have any other videos that you'd like to see about terminology for certain sports, let me know that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.